what are your priorities for your organization? What can you tell us around how you're tackling this problem and bringing solutions that get us to a better place regarding equity in education? Elisa?
Sure. So what I'll say is at Teach for America, we had set a strategy right before the pandemic hit. And the thing anchoring our strategy, which has actually only been affirmed through this last 2 years, is that we set a 10-year impact goal that is holding us accountable to communities. We've been around for now over 30 years and felt really strongly that we needed an impact goal that we could turn to and ask, are we delivering on what we say we're going to deliver? And essentially the essence of that 10-year goal is to double the number of students in communities where we work who are reaching key educational milestones that encompasses academics and social emotional learning in order to ensure that our children are on a path to economic mobility. And undergirding that goal are 4 key priorities that keep us centered. The first is around continuing to bring exceptional equity-oriented leadership into education. The second is ensuring that those leaders, we develop their leadership as well as our student leadership within our classrooms. The third is ensuring that we're really serving and delivering for our incredible alumni network that is now over 60,000 strong, which is incredible, and ensuring that we are cultivating and nurturing that community to make their greatest contribution, connect with each other, learn from each other. And then finally, we have a priority around leaders being able to learn from each other and share insights in order to accelerate learning across the country. Of course, at the foundation of all of this has, we've had to change the way we operate to a more agile approach, and centered in it is a commitment to racial equity in everything that we are doing and approaching to ensure that everyone who touches the organization is able to thrive. So that's what guides us. And as we've moved through this pandemic, we have been really asking ourselves and laser focused on how do we make sure we're meeting our students where they are academically, socially, emotionally, equipping our educators to do just that and take on the unfinished learning and approach our children as whole children. And so we really have been listening to our communities to see how can we be responsive given our core capabilities and what we're uniquely positioned to deliver on, which has led actually to different innovations that we have put in place in order to be able to say, yeah, we're hearing folks say this is what they need. Can we do anything about it? And then deliver on that. I'll share a couple examples of that. The first is in response to our communities, we actually started the Ignite Fellowship, which is a tutoring program. And the reason we started because we were hearing our alumni principals say, we just need more help and people. And given Teach for America's capabilities to acquire talent, match talent, and we have our infrastructure to do it, we were able to get an action right away. And our whole focus is on accelerate learning and ensuring that we're creating a community and culture of belonging for every child that we reach. And so the pilot was actually really successful. We saw 15% growth in students saying they were excited to come to class, 33% growth in students indicating that they were just eager to participate in class. And then we started to see the academics actually come to life. As an example, in one school in Phoenix, we saw 53% growth in middle school math assessments. And so we have now scaled this and are piloting in another set of regions. But this fellowship we're seeing is helping us break down barriers to entry to teaching, which is so important, while also ensuring that our children are getting the supports that they desperately need. So we're about to launch our spring cohort. We'll have 515 tutors teaching across 44 schools and 8 regions. And we are excited to continue to learn and see what more we can contribute on that front. Another initiative that we started a few years ago is alumni innovation sites, which essentially is putting our energy and resources to support our alumni, working with our communities to figure out what is the need, how can we help meaningfully accelerate progress, and what do our alumni want and how they want to contribute. And so what it's leading us to do is just offer various different programs and products and services and partnering with others in order to be able to do that big work together. And we're doing that in some regions rather than sending core members, really focusing on our collective leadership of our alumni, which we're learning so much about and is extremely exciting. And then the last example I will give that I think is just so important is that as we center on the centuries of anti-Black racism and its legacy, we at Teach for America started a Black Educator Promise Grant. It's a 5-year grant that is investing in recruiting and retaining Black educators into teaching into our network beyond the 2-year commitment. And so far we're seeing some progress. We've had a 5% increase in the number of Black core members that we've been able to recruit or have completed their pre-service training. We have the percentage of Black core members in our network that's also seen a 2% increase. We're now at 20%. And this continues to be a huge focus for us because, as you all know, Black teachers make up only 7% of teachers in the country, in the whole workforce of teaching, and yet 15% of our students in public schools are Black. And we know that Black students having just one Black teacher increases their chances not only of completing high school, but their trajectory and enrollment into college. And so it is these kinds of programs that we have started to just, do in order to be able to put our full set of assets and capabilities of talent acquisition, talent matching, and leadership development to work, and are continuing to listen for and figure out how we can make our greatest contribution.
That's just all so exciting, Elisa. And as I hear you describe the strategy and the vision and the initiatives that are underway right now, it just further underscores that there's such great resonance and partnership in how we can all together do this work around pivoting toward the solutions that our system needs and getting more urgently about the work around equity. So I just want to applaud you and TFA for the work in continuing to advance that. We are right behind you from a federal perspective and very focused with an all hands on deck approach right now in the Biden-Harris administration around making sure that our schools and our states and our communities have the resources that they need to recover from this pandemic and to build back a new system, move with urgency to make sure that they have a full federal partnership and support in that effort. The American Rescue Plan committed $130 billion to that charge, and we have put now all of those dollars in the hands of states and are encouraging and working with them urgently to get those into the hands of our district leaders and in the hands of our principals in our schools to put those to work for students and for parents. And part of that is to make sure that we have the support we need and the guidance we need to reopen and keep schools open. But it's also about thinking about how is this recovery around learning, this work around supporting the mental health and the needs of the whole child, their academic, social, and emotional development. How can we accelerate that in the moment that we're in, so that our students are able to really get all that they need to be able to thrive in our system, especially coming out of this pandemic when so many of our students, didn't get the amount of instruction that they needed to be able to keep up on grade level standards, and are often, many of them, still struggling with, effects, both academic challenges, but also with some of the trauma that this pandemic has laid bare, especially on our economically vulnerable families. So that's first and foremost, Lagra, our priority is to make sure that we are helping to partner and recover stronger from this pandemic and supporting the whole child in that effort.